many schools of thought for defining various dimensions and indicators of a smart city, and underlying principles all revolve around the concept of sustainability. A common school of thought emphasizes 6 particular dimensions: economy, environment, governance, living, mobility, and people. Smart economy focuses on the economic development of the city, productivity, and its connections in the local and the global scale. It looks at the placement of the city within the global environment, relating to its competitiveness by using data such as GDP, entrepreneurship, expenditure, employment, and consumptions. It refers to the industry, the change of responsible business, the amount of investments, and the innovations within the economy. Developing a smart economy requires the promotion of creativity and innovative ideas, and encourage the competition within the industry to create a better business environment. The provision of the quality products and the services are often linked with the quality of education and funded research to apply skills and resources to the economy. Smart environment is sometimes linked with a smart space, where the space will live with sensors and hardware to allow better resource management. These sensors embed into the environment, collecting information such as water quality, air pollution indices, ambient air temperature, and electricity consumption of buildings. Generally, the smart environment is focused on environmental protection, observing the anthropogenic impact due to human interaction with the urban environment. Sensors and hardware can be activated upon human contact with a certain location. Indicators of a smart environment include green building measures, such as presence of green building schemes, green energy supply, and green urban planning. It promotes the efficient and effective use of a resource for the operation within the urban environment. Optimizing the use of a resource and existing infrastructure to minimize possible negative impacts. A smart environment is one that focuses on the management and promotion of environmental sustainability. When we talk about smart governance, we often refer to the policy and the regulations in place to enable data exchange and the flow of information between various stakeholders. It looks at the supports given towards industries to allow the integration of ICT and different infrastructure, such as online presence of local government, to allow interactions between the inhabitants and the government officials. This aspect also takes into account the transparency and access of data. Different type of control to allow access whilst maintaining the security of data. Such regulations are required when dealing with the vast quantity of private data generated from sensors. Smart living focuses on people, also their health and well-being. It looks at the ability of the urban environment to enable healthy living. Elements such as safety, cultural diversity, preservation, and population health are considered within this area. There are many technologies currently available for smart living. They are often associated with management of their personal lifestyle, such as wearable device and internet-enabled appliance that helps to ease the flow of the information between various pieces of household and personal technologies. For example, the notification of a kitchen bin to our smartphone that updates the shopping list because of the disposed a bottle of milk and no other bottles inside the fridge. Mobility with the environment is mainly related to the transport network. Smart mobility is the way in which we can use technology to efficiently and effectively manage the connectivity between communities. The provision of a device, selection travel choice, and availability of such travel choice. The goal is to minimize the impact of transport on both environment and people, such as limiting the amount of pollution and damage to the nature environment. It also lowers the travel cost by providing public transport to citizens. It is also associated with logistics and operations of infrastructure and facilities relating to transport and mobility. For example, whether a driver's access to private parking space is linked to the likelihood of a private car ownership, which in turn affect the possible impact on the surrounding air quality. At the same time, by allowing drivers to track the availability of local parking spaces. Now, they can better plan for their trip and lower the travel cost, both in terms of monetary cost to the driver and environmental cost in terms of pollution. Alternatively, smart mobility is also the ability for the government agencies to monitor existing public transport and road network. It implies that they can respond swiftly to the emergency on the road, which can divert the traffic, given the ability to quickly access the road information and analyze possible impact arising from such accidents. The people dimension of a smart city refers to human capital, which views residents and workers within an urban environment as important as land, air, and water. The concept of a smart citizen in a smart city is to create an environment that promotes the development of individual skills. Education then becomes an important aspect, where the access and the quality of education affects the skills and knowledge of overall population. However, to encourage the development of a smart citizen, it requires an inclusive society or community that embrace the individual and cultivate creativity. Technological enablers, such as internet, create a channel to communicate among like-minded people and publish their creativity. While VR, AR devices allow people to explore the local environment, it helps to gain a better understanding of local culture and open up their ideas.